What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. Welcome back to the Midday Show, 11 to 1, right here on YouTube, Twitter as well. Make sure you keep up with everything that's going on with Woodward Sports on Twitter. Welcome in my guys here today. Of course, we have Joique Bell in the house. We're back at it for another one. Another one, Joique.
Another one.
Lots of them coming out there, and
he keeps throwing out these culture bars. Another one.
We're going. It's going to be a lot of them, though, Joique.
It is. It's about to be a lot of them.
About to be a lot of them, and of course, Detroit sports media legend Terry Foster in the house as well.
Himself. Yeah, don't forget me. I'm in the comfy chair over here.
I know.
The legend himself.
When you got the resume, you get the chair, Joique.
What happened to the legendary hat?
You know what? One of your girls says she liked me better without the hat, so I left it in the car.
She did say that. It was in the comments. She was like, well, I like Terry without the hat on.
Terry plays the hits, man. He's got a playbook, and he runs it to the T.
I actually today I noticed Joique. Brothers always comment on brothers when you don't lotion your legs right. I lotioned them up today real good with vanilla oil.
I'm proud of you.
So they nice and shiny today.
Nice and shiny.
Shined up.
Too bad the camera only catches on the waist.
I know, but I got Kerry champion legs today. You know how legs are nice and shiny on ESPN? That's what I did today.
Okay, check him out.
He's got him turned up today, man.
Yeah,
No doubt about it.
I love a sports show when a man can talk about his legs.
Yeah. Well, yeah, that's Terry Foster can talk about whatever he wants to talk about.
No, I got to be careful because brothers are the only ones that point out ashy legs, because we notice when your legs are ashy and we kind of get on each other's nerves. So I said, well, Joique's going to be here today, so I got to make sure they're not ashy.
Yeah. I'm not going to talk about your
Yes, you are. Don't lie. You know you're going to talk about them.
Terry's legs went from ashy to classy.
That's right. I even got the ankles today.
You got the ankles? Did you get that crease behind, like in between on the outside of your Achilles? Did you get that part?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I got everything.
Okay.
It was like surgery today.
It was like surgery? Mm-hmm. Okay. All right.
I like it. We got a lot to get to on the show today. The biggest summer league game in NBA history was last night. We will recap that.
You think that was the biggest game in NBA history?
NBA Summer League history.
Absolutely.
In Summer League?
Dude, my guy, I got a buddy of mine that I used to work with that's working with the Mavericks now, and he's out there, and he was at the game last night. Mm-hmm. Lower bowl completely full. He said he's never seen anything like it out there at Summer League. I mean, people were into it. Local people were out there. It was on out there last night, man.
Okay.
And they switched it from ESPN 2 to 1.
Yeah, I mean it was big time. We'll certainly recap that. Detroit Lions preseason kicking off this weekend as well. We'll have some discussions. The depth charts come out. Great quarterback list as well. Joique and I have a little bit of a disagreement on that, so you want to make sure you stick around for that. But if you haven't yet, download the Woodward Sports app. Everything's right there. You get it on demand, push play, and you are in there. But guys, let's start with that. The greatest game ever played in the history of the NBA Summer League. The Rockets won, but that doesn't really matter. Cade Cunningham squared up with Jalen Green. And Terry, as I was sitting there watching the game last night, I had an epiphany. And I said, you know what? Both these guys are good. It doesn't have to be so linear, right? Jalen Green is going to be an elite scorer. Cade Cunningham is going to run a franchise. Both things can be true, right, Terry? I mean, there is no wrong answer.
They will both be true. In fact, I talked to my NBA scout friend, who I call Brother Walt. I give everybody a nickname. He said before the draft, they asked, if you had the number one pick, who would you pick? And he mentioned Green and Cunningham. He says it depends on what you like. Yeah. Jalen Green is a stone cold killer. He's going to penetrate. He's going to score. He's going to drop 50 on somebody at some point this year. Yeah. He is more like Michael Jordan from the standpoint that I'm going to score. I'm going to embarrass you. I think Cade Cunningham is more of
a Magic Johnson.
What do I have to do to make my team win? And so he's more a Magic Johnson. He's going to hit you with triple doubles. Jalen Green's going to hit you with 50 spots. So it all depends on what you want.
You know what? I don't think the Houston Rockets are going to learn that lesson, because stone cold killer, scores at will, aggressive at the very aggressive at the rim.
Huge athlete. Big time athlete.
He was at the free throw line. He got 10 of his 11 of 25 points at the free throw line. So he's a good attacker, very good with drawing contact. But what's that going to do for the Rockets? I mean, they've already had a stone cold killer that can score at will, that'll put a 50-point in your hand, and a James Harden. And they just brought in another guy similar who can score at will. I like what I saw last night from both teams. The thing that I think hurt the Pistons the most is a breakdown on the defensive side.
Which I agree with. Yeah,
they broke down defensively. A few fundamental errors, putting the body on the shot, like things you learn when you first start playing ball that you get comfortable with, and it kind of sneaks away from you once you continue to go up because you take it for granted. So it was a couple of those things where they gave the offense the opportunity to get a second rebound, a second chance points, and in the NBA that has to be mitigated because those points will hurt you at the end. Period.
Yeah, and there's no question about it. And we saw young guys struggle defending the pick and roll. We saw that with the Pistons. We saw that with the Rockets as well because that's the NBA go-to play. When everything breaks down, the athletes go be athletes. And, it
turns into a two-man game. It turns into a 2-on-2.
Absolutely.
And that's what the pick and roll is. I think offensively, the Pistons did a great job, I feel, offensively with great communication, slashing. When the defender turns his head, slash behind him to the hole. Killian Hayes had a great job where he did a pick and roll, went to the corner, went for a shot, and all of a sudden somebody slashed last second. He was able to hit him coming through the lane, and that's what they're going to have to continue to work on. That's what they're going to have to continue to do, and keep building that chemistry. But what I saw last night, it wasn't bad. They lost, but I saw a lot of bright spots within that game.
We're going down a dangerous road. We got to be careful. We can't break down a summer league game because there's a lot of rookies, there's free agents, and they have very little practice time with one another. I think the story here is Cade versus Green. It's simplistic. But that's, these guys we're going to be talking about year after year after year. This could be the beginning of Magic versus Bird, Barry versus Emmitt Smith, North Carolina versus Duke. These guys are high caliber players, and they're going to go at each other for many years to come. And even though they probably just play twice a year and hopefully at some point during the NBA Finals or something, to me, this is the great storyline here, 1 versus 2. We always will love 1 versus 2. And both of these guys are aggressive players from the standpoint they want to make a stamp in this league. Right now, I look at that as me versus we. Jalen Green is more of a me guy. Cade Cunningham is more of a we guy. So that's why I call it me versus we. But we're gonna see some of these dudes nubbing for quite a while.
Cade Cunningham finishes with 20 points, had 4 boards, couple assists, 3 steals, and look, that's as advertised for Cade Cunningham. That's why he's here right now. Yeah. What I continue to see from Cade Cunningham, and Terry, we talked about this on Monday. There is that. I'm not putting him on this level yet, so don't hold me to this exactly word for word. But he has that Isaiah Thomas fire to win. He's vocal. We saw those clips of him during the broadcast yesterday where he's in the huddle. He's on the sidelines getting on guys saying, you need to be here, you need to be there. And Terry, right, different strokes for different folks, man. I don't think that there was a wrong answer for the Rockets or for the Pistons because Jalen Green is going to be an elite scorer. There's no doubt about that. And the super freak athlete that we talked about as well, and Joique, you can appreciate this, Jalen Green's vertical is the same off both feet. That's unheard of. Or they jumped off the left foot or the right foot. That's freak stuff right there. And you saw it come into play. You give him a sliver of space, he knocked down a 3 in traffic. He's a great player. But you know what? Cade put him on the skates, though. Cade he put him on the skates, man.
You know what, though? We had this saying when I was growing up, when you reach, I teach. And, we called him, Cade called him cheating. So the pick on that particular play was non and void. I mean, the pick didn't do anything on that particular play. And so he was able to cut through the pick, and he cheated. And Cade did a great job of going behind the back, hit him with the skirt, step back, split cap, And
it was a wrap.
I mean, it was a wrap. So it was a wrap. So when you look at these guys, you look at the way that they play. I want to kind of, you kind of mentioned this earlier that Jalen's going to be a better scorer, but I think he also has a better shot. I mean, he's 6 for 11. He was 6 for 11, shot over 50%. He attacked the rim. He was able to create contact. The only numbers that I did not like from Cade Cunningham was he didn't go to the free throw line not one time.
Right.
He didn't go to the free throw line not one time. And he had multiple chances when he drove, where he could have created some type of contact in the air and got the end one. But aside from that, 8 from 18 from field goal, shot right under 50%. So his shot isn't terrible. I like it. I like him. He had, like you said, had 20 points. Jalen Green had 25 points.
Sure.
So
very comparable efforts on both sides.
Yeah, it was. It was an entertaining game to watch. It was, and I think the hoopla about that game was bigger. It was better than the game.
No,
the game was good.
It was. What you got, Art?
Yeah, why aren't we talking about how, I know it's an NBA Summer League game, but the Pistons were shit last night. They were 7 for 35 behind the arc. That's terrible.
No, it was in the second unit. See, here's where I kind of washed that away, because when we saw this both games with the Pistons in the Summer League, when the first units were on the floor, they had a double-digit lead. Then the second units came in. And guys, remember that. I'm going to look into the camera and say this. Remember this about the Summer League. 80% of these dudes will never score a basket in the NBA. 80% of them. I mean, so think about it from that perspective. You got to remember what's, it's like the end of the fourth quarter in the fourth preseason game.
Well, yeah, but if we're comparing it to preseason,
well, this is no more fourth preseason game. But
well, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but in that fourth preseason game, none of the starters are really playing in that game.
Right.
So I remember the fourth preseason game. My second year, I started that game in New Orleans, and I remember running. That was my first time running out of a dome, the Superdome, and it was electrifying. Didn't have an opportunity to go back there and play through it because I ain't coming to Detroit. But I'm not gonna lie. Outside of Detroit, New Orleans was my second favorite team to play for.
Yeah, there you go.
Just because of the culture there.
Because the environment is heated. There's no doubt about that. Speaking of electricity, in the world of sports, the offseason is a time to relax and regroup after a hard-fought season. But playing with MyBookie gives you the choice to decide when your season begins and ends. At MyBookie.ag, you can bet hundreds of games and leagues from around the world. Whether it's a game day parlay or a long shot winner, MyBookie's got you covered. Who doesn't love a long shot winner? Let's be real about that. Use pregame props or bet the game live to shift the odds in your favor and always come out on top. And not only does MyBookie host exclusive sports betting contests you can't find with any other sports book, but the bonuses are insane. Here's the deal for you guys. Sign up today with MyBookie. Use the promo code Woodward. They'll give you up to $1,000 in bonus money when you make your first deposit. That's $1,000 in extra cash when you make your first deposit with MyBookie. Use the promo code Woodward. Seems simple enough, doesn't it? Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
a graduate
of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to the Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Detroit media legend Terry Foster here in the house. Thanks for checking us out on YouTube, Twitter, the Woodward Sports app, however you're consuming the show. We're certainly glad that you are. But, Terry, I know there's a lot of 10-7 limo action here.
Don't get me started on that.
Between Fish and the Bull, Art, Kennedy. I know there's a big 10-7 limo, but the first preseason game is this weekend. We're getting it going, man.
We are getting it going, but let me address the 10-7 limo. I feel like that I'm a father figure to these kids around here, and I feel that I have failed them. I did not educate them enough. I did not explain to them enough that it's a process to get to 10-7. It's a process to go to the Super Bowl. It's a process to win playoff games. And I believe that you have a coaching staff that's figuring out a failed team, and Rome wasn't built in a day. So, these are my children around here. I feel like I've failed them. I wasn't able to educate them, and I feel like a failure today.
Well, Terry, that's why I dig you, because you take personal accountability for that.
Yeah, I know.
You're wearing that right now.
I know, but they don't understand this limo is a jalopy right now.
It is.
But now they're putting the motor in and they're getting the seats in, the bucket seats, whatever you want to know.
You gotta get the flat screen put in there,
right,
the bar.
Yeah, you don't trick out a car in 24 hours or a couple days. It takes a while. So one day there will be a 10-7, or how many games you're going to play, a 10-8 or 11-7 Lions limo. Now is not the time. Sorry, guys.
Process starts today.
My children just don't listen to me.
You got to start somewhere, Terry.
You like my real kids. They don't listen either.
Yeah, mine don't either, Terry. We share in that. But Joique, I mean,
Daughter doesn't listen.
See, I got the reverse. My daughter's compliant. My son's, bro. It's a mess. But they don't know about the 10-7 limo, though. What you got, Art?
Here's my question. I understand it's preseason, and the preseason are the ones that are at the bottom of the barrel when it comes to producers of the actual game. So I'm not expecting greatness during this game on Friday.
It's the biggest preseason game in NFL history.
Stop it.
That's what it is. It's the biggest preseason game ever played.
I can be a realist about this situation. I know what the Lions are doing during the preseason. They're finding out, hey, is there anybody else on the roster that actually wants to play? Because now's your chance. My thing is this, though. We're going to see greatness this Friday. I understand it's the Bills. They've got an incredible quarterback, but so do we. We're making a comeback. I'm saying it right now. Even during the preseason, it's happening. Terry, get on that limo. Get on the 10-7 limo, baby.
All right, guys. First of all, when you look at a preseason game, you don't look to see who won or lost. All right, because when the game is being decided in the fourth quarter, Schlub, the quarterback, is out there, or Gus Smith, the running back that you never heard of, is out there carrying the ball. Your main guys are chilling out on the sideline with their baseball caps on. So don't take that into account, wins or losses. When I look at a preseason game, I look for potential. That's my thing. This Lions preseason game, I'm going to mostly look at the rookies, Iffy and Elam and all these guys. Do they show potential? How are they getting beaten now? What must they learn? What must they improve on? That's what I'm looking for, because when the Lions become good, and I did say when the Lions become good, these are the guys that are going to be leading the way. And yes, some veterans will be here and they'll contribute too, but I'm looking at the young guys. What's your potential skill set? What are you going to do? How are you going to improve? That's what I'm going to look for. I don't look at wins and losses, and
you're not looking at win and losses right now, or you don't look at win and losses in general.
In preseason?
Preseason.
No.
Well, Joique, break it down. Joique.
So what are you looking for?
I'm looking at individuals. I'm looking to see what guys are showing promise, what guys need to improve upon, what's the pecking order of this roster. I look at individuals, because I'll tell you a story. One time, Pittsburgh Steelers coming to Ford Field preseason, and Bill Cowher was still the coach, and you could tell his main focus was, I don't like my running game, but I'm going to try to fix it here against the Lions. And guess what? He didn't. They ran the ball like crap, but he said, I don't care if it's 3rd and 15, I don't care if it's 2nd and 20, I'm going to run the football, because I know at some point I'm going to have to do this when the real lights come on. Make a long story short, the Lions beat the Steelers 31-6. And I had a Lions fan was so excited. He followed me from the press box to my car to say that the Lions were going to win 11 games that year. Look how great they look against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I said, dude, didn't you see what Bill Cowher was doing? He was like, I'm going to run the ball no matter what. And it didn't make sense. His game plan made no sense if he wanted to win that game. That year, I think Pittsburgh won 11 games and the Lions won 4 or 5. And that's my point, is you don't look at scores in the preseason. You look at individuals, what the potential is. And some coaches, they're like, I know my team is going to win. I don't need to win this game. I'm going to work on things that are going to help me during the regular season, even if it doesn't make sense right now.
Well, Joique, how much is there to that? I mean, you played in these games. You tell me. I mean, the philosophy and everything that goes into it.
All right, so usually how these games are played, you're going to take who you guys are confident is going to be the starters. So you're going to start off with these guys to start the game. That's how it usually works. They'll play through, depending on who you are, you'll play through the first quarter, second quarter, and then they probably pull you out midway through the second. I don't know how it's going to be this year with only having 3 games in the preseason, so they might make them go a little bit longer in this first game. Second game is usually something similar. Third game is like the dress rehearsal. They're going to play a little bit more, and then our fourth preseason game, the guys they knew were going to be the starters aren't really playing. Now, what I'm looking for going into the preseason, this first game, and I don't know how they're going to do it, I'm looking for the guys they think are going to be the starters, and the guy that they play the most pivotal part, like a Jerry Goff. I want to see how he does with game management, the throws he makes, the decisions he makes out there on the field. I want to see our strength is the run game this year. I want to see what the O-line does. I want to see if they're going to live up to the name. I want to see the chemistry between the teams. I want to see how they communicate with each other on the offensive line against different fronts. I want to see the rookies that we just drafted, McNeal and Levy. I want to see what these guys do on the defensive line. Are they going to make any noise? Are they going to fill that void that we had? And then if they can fill that void, then we talked about this yesterday, then they're going to make our defensive backfield that much better. I want to see how these guys play for 4 quarters, and you're not going to see that in the preseason. But for the first preseason game, I want to see that for the first couple of quarters.
Well, Joique, you said it yesterday. This offensive line is going to be the greatest offensive line since the Dallas Cowboys with Emmitt Smith. Was that your exact words or no?
No, that wasn't my exact words. That wasn't my exact words.
No.
But
Neal was being bad today. Everything is the greatest ever.
So what I'm saying, this is what I'm saying. What I'm saying is that going into this preseason and going into this season just in general, this is the best offensive line we've had.
No question.
Probably since I've been alive. This might be the best offensive line. Now, we had a good O-line when Barry was here as well, and they put up numbers. They did well. They went to the playoffs. They won their first playoff game. But now we really have some guys who have opportunity. We might have 3 guys on the offensive line that within the next couple of years, they can all be in the Pro Bowl.
Right.
They can all be in the Pro Bowl. And I don't know the last time that's been done in Detroit history. I don't know. And we really have some generational talents on our offensive line. We have the best center in the game. We still have Decker. We have Sewell. And so these are guys that when you bring them in, I would have loved to run against an O-line like that. And I'm not taking anything away from my offensive line because I love them. But the ability that this O-line has, it makes you want to come out of retirement.
you want to get back out there,
right? I know we're going to get into this later, but when you have a running back in DeAndre Swift, we have Jamal Williams there. You have these guys who are good running backs, right? They're good running backs. I'm not going to say great, but they're good running backs. But when you run against an O-line like what we have now, if everything happens the way we want it to happen, these running backs can go from looking good to looking great, all right? Because the thing is, you want to get up to the second level. Once you get to the second level as a running back, it's your job to beat that safety. And if we can get up to the safety, 6 out of 10 times, we should beat him 9 out of 10 times. But understand these are the things I think about. These are the things I want to see what the running backs do in the second level. I want to see the type of push this O-line can get on the run game. I want to see how their pass set is. These are the things I want to see going into the preseason. And,
Joique, I want to give you a new job title right now. You're head coach. Do you use game 3 as usual as the dress rehearsal? Is it now game 2?
It'll be game 2.
Or
so
do you not have a dress rehearsal?
Yes, you do. I would make it game 2. So I would just eliminate, when we have 4 games, I would just eliminate the second game because the second game is similar to the first preseason game. So I will eliminate that second one. The first game would be the first preseason game. The second game would be the dress rehearsal, and the third game would be for the guys that are fighting for a spot on the team.
Play for your job.
Right, and that's what I'm looking for going in. And so because a lot of players can be hot cold during the preseason, and so you might want to give them more of an opportunity. And speaking of hot cold, have I told you about Northwestern Tech? Start a new career in an industry that is always essential, the heating and cooling industry. To learn more today, go to northwesterntech.edu. Joique Bell, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, and this is Woodward Sports. Stay tuned.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back to the Midday Show here. Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Detroit sports media legend, Terry Foster in the house as well. You got that feeling in the air right now, that whole football discussion. When you get into August, man, we are ready to go. And, when you look at it from the standpoint of certainly, wrapping up that discussion about the Lions and the preseason and those types of things. And Terry, we even had the Michigan State people, John, yesterday around the social medias and, that whole situation with the Indianapolis Colts and everything that came out and some, I guess, I don't want to say jabs at Jim Harbaugh, but that's how it was taken between the Michigan Wolverines fans and Michigan State fans. And that's even getting active, man. College football is ready to roll, too. The Sparties and the Wolverines, man, they're in midseason form.
Yeah, they are. And that game is not for months and months down
Right.
the road. But, I think what has happened with Jim Harbaugh, he had the longest honeymoon in Detroit sports history for a coach. And then at a certain point, the Wolverines just turned on him like, this guy is not what we thought he was going to be. He was supposed to be our savior. He can't beat Ohio State. So all the blemishes that should have been brought out years ago are now being brought out now. Jim Harbaugh was never criticized in this town. And now I think what's happened is Spartan fans like, your savior isn't doing what he said he was going to do or what you said he was going to do. I did a show with a big Spartan fan, and when Jim Harbaugh was hired, at that time Michigan State was beating Michigan, and we got all these emails and texts and stuff from Michigan fans saying, hey, Sparty, your run is done because our guy is here. Jim Harbaugh, in Michigan people's fan, was the perfect hire, and he hasn't been the perfect coach. It was cute when he was sleeping in tree houses or sleeping over with recruits before. Now it's not that cute because they're not winning enough. Yeah, he's had 10, 11 win seasons and everything, but bottom line, when you are the coach at Michigan, your job is to beat Ohio State and Michigan State. He hasn't done that enough. At this point, you would have thought Michigan would have won a Big Ten title. They have not. It's been 2 decades since Michigan won a Big Ten title, and this Michigan back in the day would win at worst every 3 years, or at least tie for it with Ohio State or some other up-and-coming team. But Jim Harbaugh has not been able to get this program back to Bo Schembechler levels. And so now I think people are turning on the man.
They'll turn on him. But, are they looking at him not winning a conference? No, he's not winning a conference. Is he beating Ohio State? No, he's not beating Ohio State.
At all.
At all. But you look at his record, he's 49-22.
Yeah, those are cool wins against Army. That Army had to miss a field goal to get. See, I think people that really fall into that though, Joique, I don't have any time. I mean, you're Michigan. You have 5 wins built in by playing MAC schools, by playing Army, all at home. By the way, I give no credit to that at all.
What I would knock him for is the 1-5 wins, and the bowl games at the end. The only bowl game he won was the Citrus. Lost the Orange Bowl, the Outback, the Peach, and lost the Citrus, and
right.
So
those when they play good teams.
And Neal, let me go. They have built-in wins in the Big Ten. You don't have to go to the MAC.
Yes, they do.
You're supposed to beat Purdue. You're supposed
Rutgers,
to
Illinois.
You're supposed to beat Indiana, even though they're dangerous.
Illinois
you're still
is coming
supposed
back
to beat
up.
them.
Illinois
you're supposed
is coming
to beat
back.
Illinois.
Right.
Illinois is coming back, though.
Well, I was told Michigan was coming back up because I did those. Terry, you and I were competitors at that time in the radio landscape, and it was blasphemy when I brought up the fact that what if this doesn't work? Oh, what do you know? You work at Oakland. What do you know? You don't know anything about this stuff. Yeah, I don't. What I do know is this: that he is the most overrated coach in sport. That's not my opinion.
In college or
in sports? In sports.
So was he overrated in NFL?
Was he overrated in the NFL? I mean, not overrated. He took them to a Super Bowl, but as he sits for Michigan, I'm not talking about Jim Harbaugh for the 49ers. I'm talking about Jim Harbaugh at Michigan, the most overrated coach in sports. And Joique, that's not my opinion. That's fact. Go to Google. You brought up the numbers, man.
Yeah, I did.
And this dude, they were talking about lifetime contracts for this guy. Based on what? Based on what? And I again, Terry, I did those shows too. Mm-hmm. The Messiah was here. The seas parted. I mean, he walked on water into Michigan Stadium and said, "Hey, my children, I have come. I've come to save you. I've come to save this program."
Turn your mic on, Art. Turn your mic on.
It's not up to me. It's up to Fitz. Turn my mic on so I can give Neal his props.
No, but this
are we gonna
this
be
is
great?
what,
Are we going to be good or are we going to be great?
Michigan fans, this is what you've gotten. You were sold a bill of goods, man. You were.
Well, not
That's
entirely.
not what I think. Look it up.
Hang on. When you mix Harbaugh with Michigan, because part of this is Michigan is the greatest program in sports in some people's minds.
Oh, yeah.
So when you mesh
It's the big house, baby.
The most wins
It's
ever.
the big house,
with
baby.
Michigan, you're supposed to get Alabama. And you didn't get Alabama. You didn't get Ohio State. You didn't get Clemson.
And they've been embarrassed by those programs. Not be embarrassed.
You didn't get Michigan State.
Now,
Michigan State's looking at you eye to eye.
Now, was that coaching? Was that talent?
The coach is responsible for the talent in college.
But I'm saying they had the top 5 recruiting class the past 4 or 5 years.
And let's be honest about the top 5 recruiting class thing. All right, recruiting sites are running a business, and what sells more than anything in the world? Hope. Hope sells. It does. And if you're running a business that's based on clicks, that's based on subscriptions, are you going to sell to the Alabama fan, or are you going to sell to the Michigan fan who's desperate?
I also question who are these people making these assessments. I've met some of them. I said, this dude don't know what he's talking about.
Yeah, I want you to understand this real quick. All right, from Pop Warner, you have about 20 million kids around the country playing ball. You go into high school, that number drops down to about 2 million, right? And then from high school to NCAA, you have about 50,000, right? They're trying to evaluate 2 million kids. They're going to drop the ball on some of them, all right? They're going to drop the ball on a couple of them. But for the most part, some of these guys go to college. Some are bust, but some really make it to the next level, and they have a big name for themselves. But it's 2 million kids. They can't know every kid.
And Joique, I'll give you that. I'll give you that because when a lot of it's situational, right? I mean, you found this in the NFL. A lot of it.
I got slept on.
You're sitting there at Buffalo behind Marshawn Lynch and C.J. Spiller and
Fran Jackson.
I mean, like that's, with all due respect, that's almost an impossible task to walk into, right?
Yeah.
But it shook out for you. You got your opportunity. And you did your thing.
Right.
And there is a lot of that to what you said. It's the situation you walk into. It's where you go. It's who's around you. Who gets
politics.
hurt. The coach.
Because this is how it works, right? So I don't know if it works like this now, but when you're younger, when I was coming up, when you would go to these camps, right? These camps are expensive. Like I was going to the U of M football camp. It was over 2,000 kids there from all over the country, from Cali, from Texas to Louisiana to Florida to Pennsylvania, like kids from everywhere at this one camp, right? So when I go to these camps, right, the more you go, the more they see your face, the more opportunities you'll get. And this is how a lot of these kids were getting ranked on the Rivals, on the Rivals.com, because they had been going to these camps since they were in the 7th or 8th grade. But guys who can't afford to go to these camps every year because they cost close to $400 at the time, like we didn't have $400 to give. You know, luckily for me, I had people in my life who kind of donated towards me going to this camp. But
Which speaks to a bigger problem in youth sports in this country.
Give you
a lot of
brother,
it's
I
paid
wish
for play.
you had gone to the CMU camp.
But I want to give you the perfect example, though. I want to give you the perfect example.
Chippewa.
Because you have all the schools in the area, a lot of the smaller schools, some of the MAC schools, all at this particular camp. And when you go to these camps, that's where I met Wayne State. And I went up and I introduced myself to Wayne State, and that's how I ended up going to Wayne State, because I went to the U of M football camp. A lot of kids don't get that opportunity, all right? And so we talk about recruiting, we talk about the process they go through. Yeah, some of the guys don't know what they're talking about. But the way that they're doing it now, honestly, I don't know if it's a scam. I don't know if it's real. Like, it's so much like, you pay this amount and we'll be your recruiting officer. We'll put your name out there. We'll help you with your highlight tape. We'll help you with this. I get phone calls for my son. I got phone calls for my nephew with people that want you to pay them money so they can help you through the recruiting process.
And again, I think it's one of those both things can be true, Joique. Yeah. I think both things are true. But I mean, Terry, real quick, is it getting this heated because Michigan fans are desperate? They're desperate, right?
Yeah, I think they've turned into Michigan State fans. The bad fans that they say they were. They don't like to be attacked. They still think their program is the best in the nation, or at least the best in the Big Ten.
They live in the past.
They're living in the past. One other thing about recruiting, if sometimes you'll notice, if a guy is a 2-star in Michigan or Notre Dame or Alabama, start saying, you know what, I like this guy. He turns into a 3-star.
Yeah.
So,
all right, so I'm going to tell you, let's talk about what can make you go from a 5-star to a 1-star when we come back from these messages. Thanks for tapping in. Woodward Sports. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to the Midday Show here on Woodward Sports Network. Joique Bell, Terry Foster. My name is Neal Ruhl. Happy you are with us. Make sure you download that Woodward Sports app. Everything's on demand right there. Just push the button. You miss something, go back and watch it. We're on your terms, man. However you want to consume the show, we got you. Make sure you subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube as well. Stay up to date with everything that's going on with the network. Some big news has been dropping the last couple days. Certainly, you saw it out there today. Tomorrow, the debut of Big D Energy. Myself, Joique Bell, Darren McCarty. So we're hyped, man. We got some things popping right here. So get with us. The only all digital sports network in Detroit.
I'm not doing the show if Joique comes in with the Big D Energy wearing gray sweats. Is that what you just said? God, no. I'm out. I'm out. I can't.
Excuse me.
No.
Did you see how real quick? Did you guys see that Kevin Hart skit when he was talking about his dad would come to a spelling bee,
yes,
wearing jogging pants and just screwing through his spelling bee, trying to get to his seat, saying, "Excuse me."
No. I'm out.
You know. Not about the sweats.
No,
right.
God, no. No.
My bad.
If I see Joique in gray sweats tomorrow, I am out of here. I'm telling you right now.
Maybe Friday.
Are you doing that show tomorrow?
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm talking to Chad at 1.
Friday should be sweats day.
I told him that I want you on our show tomorrow.
Well, Friday should be sweats day.
I mean, listen, I ain't cheap. And I'm not. I'll wear gray sweats tomorrow.
Yeah,
Big Art Energy.
Speaking of sweats, though, there's some sweat coming from Lions training camp as well. DeAndre Swift, the groin issue is popping up again, and you hate to see that because it's something that's happened in the past, Terry. But again, we talk about these preseason games and stuff like that. Going back to that for just a second, what do I want to see out of a preseason game? Health. That's all I care about, man. Just be healthy because we're starting to see a lot of knocks.
Yeah, but it's a very slippery slope, and it's very difficult. Football is, as we all know, is a physical sport. Even just during practice, I mean, they be thumping each other. So you can't totally shut it down. You gotta, one of the problems in football now is they don't tackle as much as they used to in practice. So we see slippage in tackles, we see slippages in games and stuff. So you still gotta be somewhat live, and you just got to keep your fingers crossed. Don't get hurt. Don't get hurt. But, sometimes, I told the story about James Jones, who was a Lions running back. He was going to be the starter one year, and the coaches decided, we're going to run you 8 times in the first quarter. And guess what? He got injured. That was totally unnecessary. You knew what the man could do. You didn't have to run him 8 times. You weren't trying to win a game. So you can't be stupid, but you have to still let these dudes play.
Yeah, you don't do that with your franchise. You do that with the 4th season game with a guy that's fighting to make the team. When I was in Buffalo, we talked about what you expect in our Buffalo game. So I was in Buffalo. We were playing the Colts in Toronto. In the last preseason game, they ran me about 6 to 8 times in a row. Now, we capped it off with a touchdown at the end, but I was gassed. But you do that to test the conditioning of your running back. And so I remember we were in Buffalo years down the road, and we had a guy named Stephen Miller. And he ran about a 30-yard run, but he ran probably about 70 yards on this one play. Ran this way, cut back field, ran straight down the field, cut up, ran up for like another 30, breaking tackle, spinning, and he was gassed. So he was running back to the huddle. He was looking to the side like, I got to take a breather. But by that time, they had pulled Reggie from the game. They had pulled me. They had pulled, I think, Mikel LaShore. And they had told Theo to take the tape off his ankles. So it was no sub for him. So he had to stay in the game. And he was tired because, like, the second or third run, when he got to the offensive line, he just fell down.
Went down real easy.
He went down easy. But you do that with, type of guys like that that's trying to make the team. It also gives them the opportunity. And also what they're trying to do is they're going to give you the rope. And what I mean by that is when I was in New Orleans in preseason, I was talking to a good friend who actually worked for the team. He told me, listen, they're going to give you the rope. I'm like, what do you mean? He said, they're going to let you hang yourself. So you're either going to throw the rope away or you're going to choke.
Well, and Joique, pro teams do that all the time. In all the sports, because they a lot of times problems take care of themselves. That's a great line that I like to use. Problems take care of themselves, and pro teams, they employ that strategy, man.
Yeah, they do. And so I was able to capitalize on the opportunity, and even with that running back at the time who had those 8 carries, he actually did pretty well, considering that he had just ran 80 yards and was in there. So he stuck it out. Stuck it out. But that's the name of the game. And I remember last year, one thing that I actually agreed on with Matt Patricia, he said if a guy comes out here and he has some type of pull muscle, he's selfish. He's not hydrating enough. He's not doing the necessary stretching he needs to do. And when you have like a low body percent as far as body fat, you have to drink more water. You have to do more stretching. Right. You have to do more stretching. And so whenever you have a pull muscle, he will call you selfish. When I played, I never had a pull muscle. I'll say that much. I've never had a pull muscle when I played. And it just, just lucky for me. Is it luck or did I prep myself to be prepared for opportunities?
Both things are probably true.
Yeah, both things are probably true. So if it was something like a tore ACL, a meniscus, something like that, then you can't control those. But pull muscles, pull groins, you can control those things. And so when you become, he's a young player, but even with that being said, you have to make sure you're available. That's the best thing you can do for your team is be available.
Got to play. You got to play to be good.
Right.
Terry, are you concerned? Because I'm not going to lie to you. I'm concerned because DeAndre Swift's a player. I mean, you saw highlights of him in college. I mean, just the cuts he's able to do. He's a player. I look at him as part of the cornerstone of what they're trying. You talk about the 10-7 limo.
Yeah,
he's installing the bar in that.
Yeah,
thing.
when they get good, he will be Swift does something that other running backs can't do. He just disappears. He runs, and you say, "Oh, his brother's running here," and all of a sudden he's there. And I said, "Damn, he just disappeared off the screen. He just went here and then bam, did a cutback, and you're totally caught off guard." And he cuts outside the camera angle sometimes. That's very difficult to do.
I'm gonna go back to this highlight real quick. I want to highlight something real quick, and this might be the play that I break down tomorrow, Kennedy. So make sure we pay attention to this play. Run this back real quick. So it started from the beginning because you just from the beginning of the play. And so on this particular play right here, as a good screen runner, what he does is right here. When it's a blitz coming off the edge, usually you go down to the offensive line, you get lost, and then you bubble back out. You break out to the outside with your line. But whenever you have a blitz coming, you have to go stop that blitz feet, which he does. He slows his feet down, and then he kind of slips them, gets around them, and it gives Stafford just that inch or that split moment to get the ball over the top.
Because you just need a chip, some kind of interference,
you just
something.
You just need to
throw
stop
the timing off.
You just need to. If you look at him, he approaches him. If you look, run it back one more time. If you look at him, he stops his feet when he's coming off the edge. He gets him to stutter step. So when it goes back, you'll see it. He does a great job of open field, breaking tackles, getting up the field, which we're going to need. So if you look, he makes him stop his feet, gets it over the top, and he's able to outrun our linebacker who has him in man. He over pursued, he tried to undercut it, and he got beat. And so these are things we're going to need this year. In order for us to have these things happen and for us to see you make these type of plays, Swift, you have to be available.
Well, and that's my thing too, is when you see a play like that with what he brings, that is elite. That's game breaking. That's Joique, look, NFL football seems to be about getting the running back on the linebacker, right? I mean, that's
you want to get him out with it. That's what you want to do, and that's the whole point of it.
Because he's dynamic. He can run away. Yeah. That's not usual. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Like he provides something that not a lot of people can do, and that's why I'm concerned about this. Because again, it's bout number 2 with it that we saw last year. I'm not DEFCON 5 or anything like that. Yeah. But with that being said, they will need him. If you talk about a 10-7 limo, if Terry Foster is gonna put the hat on and drive the 10-7 limo, DeAndre.
No, that's a jalopy, brother. I'm not getting on that.
I'm gonna tell you what it is. I'm not concerned.
Okay.
You know why I'm not concerned?
I'll defer to you, Joique.
You know why I'm not concerned? Because this is next man league. This is a next man's league.
I know, but Joique, the next man doesn't have what we just saw.
Hey, how do you know that? Have you seen our draft pick play? Have you seen him play?
Well, we're going to get a look at that in the preseason, right?
Right. So we don't know what we have yet. Did the Buffalo Bills know when they had me on the team? No, I had to play.
Sure.
Right. And so similar to what just happened, Swift has a severe. I don't know if he's going to play this first game or not. Probably not.
I hope not. To be honest with you.
It's going to give this young back an opportunity to go out there and show what he can do. Because him being down is just going to give this young guy more opportunity.
Listen, I'm going to tell you, if Swift plays the first preseason game, the whole coaching staff needs to be fired. Like, honestly, why are we not saving what we have right now? Swift is one of the best on the team, if not the best. And we're going to play. We do not need to play him in preseason at all. Play him in the last game, in the last quarter, and be like, okay, you're ready to go, and then test him in the real game.
Oh, you know what's funny? I sat out the entire preseason after I had my Achilles surgery. They brought me back. 3 days before the first. 3 or 4 days before the first game of the season. I was not ready. You cannot sit this man out the entire preseason. He has to be able to get some type of action so he can get used to the
He already
hits.
has an injury.
You said what?
He already has it. We're going to injure him even more?
Well, Terry,
No.
that's the balance that you talked about.
But this is what I'm saying. This is going to give this young back Jefferson the opportunity to go out there and play.
Right, so then sit him.
Exactly. But what I'm saying is, this is how I got my opportunity, because players were down and I was able to get more carries and other teams. So you're not playing for your team.
Right.
You're playing for 31 other teams when you're out there on the field. So whatever they see you do, and that's the nature of this business, right? You know, this is the nature of this business, which luckily for Jamal Jefferson, he was able to come into a situation where he'll have an opportunity. Because usually if you don't get drafted by round 5, 6, or 7, you want to be able to go to wherever team you want to go to.
Pick your spot.
You want to pick your spot because you can pick the best situation for you. He came into a great situation. When we come back, let's get into I want to talk a little bit more about this, though, because this is important to me, and I think people need to understand why this is not something that I'm afraid of or I'm weary about, because when you go into that locker room, you got to understand this is next man up. Anyway, stay tuned with Woodward Sports.
Hi, I'm David Hall from All Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Callhallfirst.com.
Would you like to win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time?
Then watch as we turn this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
Watch the Call Sam Chopper Shop on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network, the Midday Show. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, the legend, T-Foss, Terry Foster in the house as well. We got the usual suspects too. Fish is here, Kennedy's here, Art is here as well. But we've been talking Detroit Lions. I did want to get into the it's like I said, it's training camp. You got to do the obligatory quarterback discussion because I have a different idea of how I would attack a top 5 quarterback list than how Joique would, probably than how Terry would as well. But I know, Joique, you wanted to wrap up a point about the whole DeAndre Swift situation because it is. I mean, I defer to you because you lived this. This was your life. So, I mean, wrap it up, man.
Yeah,
what do you got?
And then, as a player, you never hope that your teammate will get hurt. Like, you don't want that to happen. You're cheering for your teammate, but understand that NFL injury rate is 100%. It's 100%, so it's for sure.
Right.
It's not a matter of if you get hurt, it's when you get hurt. And so when you look at in the history of players who have been able to kind of make a name for themselves off another player getting hurt. We have baseball players who became Hall of Famers because somebody got hurt, then they went out there on the field, took their opportunity, and that player never touched the field again. You look at Tom Brady. Tom Brady. When the player got hurt, he went out there on the field and never looked back. So you look at these opportunities, you have to take full advantage. And so it sucks he's hurt, but it's part of the game. Do I think he's going to bounce back and be okay? Yes, I think. I mean, it's growing. He'll be okay. He'll be fine. But you want to take care of it now, immediately, so it's not nagging on during the season. And once you get on top of it, stay on top of it. You have to stay on top of these type of things, period. Because when you're not available, you're not going to be around long. And if you get that reputation of always being injury prone, it's only a matter of time
before you get that label going forward. I mean, Art,
that person.
Because if you're not a player, you're not going to crush a lot.
Well, he is not as Caucasian as what we thought. Here's my question, though: as an athlete, is it the coach's job to pull you out when you're injured, or is that the athlete's responsibility?
It's a little bit of both.
Okay,
it's a little bit of both. And so, if you look at Kevin Durant was like, this is an important game. I want to go out here. I want to play. He probably should have set out. But he probably, listen, I can run on it, I can push on it, and it probably came to a mutual agreement with the head coach, like, listen, I want to get out there and play. And at that particular time, as a player, you got to know when to pull yourself, all right? All right, now fast forward. Now, it should be a coach's job to pull you out where, I should have got pulled out after I had my Achilles surgery when I came back too early. I had to pull myself out because I was hurting myself and I was hurting my team. I couldn't perform the way I wanted to perform. So I set out for 3 or 4 weeks, and when I came back, I was still about 75-80%, but I was able to be productive, and my injury wasn't holding me back from performing at a high level. And I felt like that was happening to me early on in the season. And so you have to just know yourself as a player. You have to know yourself. The coaches have to know their players as well, because you have some guys who just stay out there and try to fight through it. And this is the mental game, and some stuff you're going to have to fight through. But some situation you have to sit down. You have to sit down.
So, Joique, you and I were talking yesterday, and we were talking about quarterbacks and that quarterback money, and you said that quarterback money hits different.
It
hits different. So, Terry, I know we wanted to discuss this as we get ready for the season and get things going again. And I'm curious to see where you stand on this. The top 5 quarterbacks in the league. Now, certainly lists are always subjective. They're the eye of the beholder. They're exactly, what is important to you. I went about it a little bit differently than Joique went about it. Terry, I'm curious to see, because you got to do the top quarterback rankings going into the season, right?
Of course, people love rankings.
I do. I'm a sucker for them. Your top 5, Terry, and why you have them the way you have them.
Well, I think probably number 1 on everybody's list is Patrick Mahomes. He just does things differently. He's been in a couple Super Bowls. He's won a Super Bowl. And when you see him play, he does things other people don't do or can't do. And he's a winner. I love that guy as a quarterback. My number 2 is Aaron Rodgers, because I think one of the things, Aaron Rodgers does great things, but He's pissed off.
He is.
Aaron Rodgers pissed off usually results in greatness. So that's number 2 for me. Of course, since he's leading the Lions to a 10-7 record, just kidding.
You got deep, Dart. You got deep.
I did.
So I did the Cade Cunningham on you, man. But beyond that, I like, I debate whether to have Tom Brady on my top 5. And I understand he won a Super Bowl. Wherever he goes, he wins. But I also think Tampa said we're going to surround him with players that he can play with.
They were already there.
Huh?
He said
no, a lot of them. They brought some people in.
They brought a couple, but that's every team. That's every team. What are you talking about? Tom Brady's the GOAT. Like, stop it. Like,
he's the GOAT, but we're talking right here, right now.
Right here, right. He's still a GOAT. Like he's
Joique, you're telling me
he's the defending NFL Super Bowl champ.
Joique,
is he number 1 on your list?
Yeah, Joique. If a game's starting in 15 minutes,
for sure.
If the game's starting in 15 minutes and all the players are the same, the only difference is going to be the quarterbacks on the 2 teams. You're telling me that Tom Brady is your dude to go start the game right now?
I wouldn't say Tom Brady. It would be probably. I'll probably put Rodgers up there.
Yeah, because I'm a Patrick Mahomes guy.
Yeah, and I love Patrick Mahomes. I love Patrick Mahomes, but I'm going to go with Aaron Rodgers just because I know what he's capable of because I played against him, and I know how he can change a game with him just being on the field. And I talked about this on the show before. We were playing a game where he got hurt early in the game, and he was sitting out. He was hurt the week before, tried to come back and play, got hit again in the injury, went out for a bit. We went up 2 scores. And you can see the team deflate. You can see Green Bay deflate when Aaron Rodgers was off the field. And when he came back on the field, it was just like they got rejuvenated. And they started playing a little bit harder, started making a few more plays. And all of a sudden, they got the lead and they ended up winning that game. I remember we played them at Thanksgiving. Aaron Rodgers set out this particular game. We beat them 48-10. But we lost to him that season as well when Aaron Rodgers was playing.
Right.
And so that's how big of a difference Aaron Rodgers makes on this team.
Well, Terry, I think he's a bit compromised with that because there's a lot of post-traumatic, syndrome that's involved.
It's a lot of that, but it's been proven.
You see his eyes get real wide when he was talking about it.
But what I'm saying is, like, how can you have the same exact team get beat 48-10? And then when he comes back, they win. Like, that's how big of a difference he makes on the field.
And that is fair. And look, don't get me wrong, because he's my number. If we're playing the game today, because that's how I did mine. If I'm playing the football game today, I got Patrick Mahomes. He's a wizard. He's a witch. Just the way he escapes situations. He's the ultimate playground player. Oh, by the way, he's got a rocket arm. Oh, by the way, he can make plays with his feet. I love that's my favorite cliche in football talk. He makes plays with his feet. Well, how else is he going to make them? But anyway, that's where I was with that. I mean, I have Tom Brady's at 5 for me. I'll tell you what though. If I'm playing the football game today and I'm playing a football game in 5 years, in 7 years, I really like Justin Herbert a lot. I probably like him more than most do, but I have him in there too, to where if I were a GM and we could say anybody in the league right now, I would take Mahomes first. And I have him for the future, I would take Mahomes first. Probably Josh Allen 2, and I would take Herbert 3rd.
You can't just change the rules, though, and say 5 years from now.
I know, you change the rules, though.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, I have different lists for different situations,
all right, put it like this. You had who's your top 5 quarterbacks right now on their team?
Right now.
On their team.
We don't care about 2020 now.
On their team right now.
I'm telling you that there's some variance based on what the criteria is. But
I
as I said,
the criteria.
Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, I Deshaun Watson and Russell Wilson, I think you can 3A, 4A. I think, they're
Deshaun in the rap world's fighting cases. He's not focused on the
but
game.
we're talking about what he did last year.
But when he's
we're
on
talking
the
about
passing
right now.
He was a passing leader.
Yeah.
And right now he's battling cases.
It don't matter. That's a person who can't separate what a person does on the field.
You don't think that affects his game?
And that's the person who takes problems from home and
We
bring
don't
them to
know
work.
that.
Nobody takes problems from home and bring them to work when you're a professional.
No.
Well, then no bullshit. You're telling me that all those cases aren't going to affect him in the season if he's going to even play for the Texans?
Hey,
No. Because when you're between those lines, man. When
you're between those lines. Hey, listen, when we come back, I want to get into your top 5 quarterbacks. I want to get your top 5 quarterbacks, and we're going to get my top 5 quarterbacks. What's probably be the best 5 out of their 5. Stay tapped in. What was sports?
I'm looking to bring on another HVAC tech right now.
We are recruiting 5 to 10 techs a month.
We're looking to grow and expand.
Every new tech we hire is from Northwestern Tech.
The hands-on training is fantastic.
They're always my first call.
We love hiring Northwestern Tech grads.
They come out trained and ready to work.
Our program is only 10 and a half months, and our next classes are starting soon. So why wait?
I'm looking to hire
Hire a graduate of Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Northwestern Tech.
Welcome back to the Midday Show here, Woodward Sports Network. Make sure you download the app. Keep up with us on YouTube as well. Subscribe, man. Subscribe to Woodward Sports on YouTube. Everything is right there. We deliver it to you. We hand it to you. Follow Woodward Sports on Twitter as well. Keep up to date with everything that is going on. He is Joique Bell. He is Terry Foster. My name is Neal Ruhl. Happy to have you with us. We're working towards that lunch hour here on a workday Wednesday. Thanks for taking some time and jumping in with us. But this quarterback debate it is really warming up. But I think that's where I am with it. I'm Patrick Mahomes 1. I'm Aaron Rodgers 2. I'm Deshaun Watson 3. I'm Russell Wilson 4. And I'm keep ping ponging with Josh Allen and Lamar Jackson. And I'm going to go with Josh Allen. I am. I'm going to go with Josh Allen. I think Josh Allen's a dark horse for the MVP this year.
Yes.
I do.
100%.
I honestly think that. Terry, did you give your 5 in stone?
I'm putting Josh Allen on there at 3 because he could be the MVP this year. And then Russell Wilson. Yeah, that's right. I just got too relaxed up here. No, I'd put Josh Allen 3, and then Russell Wilson, and then 5.
The Josh Allen train's picking up. It's like the 10-7 limo. It's picking up passengers.
Oh yeah. That limo may actually have some juice to it. At least some gas in the tank.
I'm gonna be honest. That limo has way more potential. Josh Allen is just like. He makes it happen. No matter. Look at that play.
Just unorthodox. That was that.
Look at that.
Tim Tebow right there. That's that Tebow.
Look at
Tebow.
Yeah, that's that Tebow right here. That wildcat.
I like it.
And then jump and throw it over the top.
You mean Tim Tebow, the worst quarterback in NFL history?
Yep.
That guy?
Terry?
Yeah, I'm speaking more so from the college days.
Well, you can't be the worst ever if you got a playoff win.
Yeah, Terry.
At Denver.
That's right.
What
was that?
Get him.
Well, I got to take a shot at my girl over here. She loves her some Tim Tebow.
You know why she loves her some Tim Tebow?
Because he's a guy
because Urban Myers.
Oh,
that's why she loves him.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. Not because
Kennedy, we discussed that. I'm big Urban Meyer
because
guy.
it's Urban.
I wanted
Urban
to work
Myers,
in Jackson.
NFL Coach of the Year this year.
So who do you think has more pressure on him, real quick? Trevor Lawrence or Urban Myers?
I think they get a pass for this year. They
I
get
think
a pass for 2
Trevor
years.
Lawrence does because there's so many expectations on him. I think Urban Meyer owns the whole state of Florida. So even if he doesn't succeed this year, he said, well, he's trying to turn around the Jaguars. We'll give him more time.
And he can kind of hold Trevor Lawrence as a shield, too. Like, you know, because I'm tied to this. This is my quarterback. This is the guy I have. If he doesn't play well, we can't win. Right?
Watch this. You guys are not going to like my number 5.
All right.
1, I got Aaron Rodgers. All right, I like Rodgers. I know what he's capable of. Patrick Mahomes, Tom Brady, Josh Allen, and for that 5th spot, I was debating.
Be careful, we're looking at you now.
I know. I'm
Russell
locked in.
Wilson or Lamar Jackson. I was debating between these 2.
Look at this play. Look at this play.
Love Russell.
You make your answer.
Just accurate throws. He got some great weapons though. He has some really good weapons.
Good escapability.
Yeah, he does. He can escape. He can make keep a play going. Lamar Jackson though is not only going to keep a play going, but he's going to go get you some with his legs. The most legs are just as dangerous as any running back in the NFL. And then you have my guy who's never played a snap in the NFL. You know, I'm on that trick or Trey. I'm on that trick or Trey. I love Trey Lance. I like
He's going to be the starter there, man.
Yeah,
you want to put him in top 5? He hasn't had a single snap.
I know.
Guess who his first game is against?
You know why I like him though?
What the fuck are we doing?
You know why I like him? I'm gonna tell you.
Forward thinking.
Because listen, they was talking junk about me when I was saying I was on that Trigger Trey. I was on that Trigger Trey train when I was saying that I think he's better than Justin Fields. I think he's gonna go higher than Justin Fields, and they were like, what are you talking about? And what happened?
That is true.
What happened?
That is true.
I like the guys from the smaller schools who have something to prove, have that chip on their shoulder, and that's why I think he's going to have some success. And that's why I'm putting him in my top 5 right now, even though he doesn't have a stat. I understand that, but I'm going off what I'm hoping for.
And by all accounts, he's likely going to be the starter, which that opened my eyes. When I saw those reports coming out of San Francisco that he's a factor, he's in play, he could be the opening day starter. I mean, Jimmy Garoppolo's done some things in this league.
Yeah.
You know, he's made some money. He's played in Super Bowl. You're crazy for saying the top 5. I mean, let's just get that. Let's just
I know I'm great, but that's how much I love him.
I love the passion. I respect the passion.
And if you guys kind of heard it, so if you guys heard what I said,
oh, here you go, backpedaling.
I'm not backpedaling.
Okay.
So it's only not okay when I change the rules. When I change the rules, it's not okay.
I didn't change the rules though.
But he can do it and it's fine. I get it.
What rules did I change?
I get it.
We about to find out.
What rules did I change?
Listen, you changed it to a crazy person.
What
you
rules
know
did I
the
change?
difference between college and NFL. You know the difference.
Yes, and as an athlete, you adjust to it.
Not every time.
Not every time.
Joique is not changing the rules.
I'm not changing the rules.
He is just speculating.
Oh, you got Joique's back?
No, I'm just telling. What rules did I change, Art? Tell me what rules I changed.
You're telling me that
no, that's not what I tell you. What rules did I change, Art?
Well, no, Neal said that you changed the rules.
I know, but you agree with him. But you agree with him.
I agree with Neal because, I mean, it's...
Shut your mouth. I'm going to tell you this. If you listen to what I said, I gave you my top 4, and I said I was debating between Russell Wilson and Lamar Jackson.
Mm-hmm.
And then...
That is true.
And then I said, but you know what? Y'all going to be mad at my number 5 because I really like Trey Lance. Come on, now, read between the lines.
Well, this isn't a top 8.
Read between the lines.
This is a top 5, not a top 8. We need
you
your
said
5.
Top 5. You said top 5 this season.
Top 5 this season. Who? Right now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Not 5, 6, 7.
So number 5.
Okay.
Trey Lance starting.
Okay.
I got him in my top 5.
That's absurd.
Oh, that is crazy.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? When they drafted Patrick Mahomes, and when they traded up to get Patrick, what are they doing? Why are they drafting so high? And then what happened?
Nobody said he was a top 5 dude, though, coming into it. And look,
and they have to.
So you're telling me
what happened?
You're telling me that you'll take him over Dak Prescott or Matt Stafford or even Ryan Tannehill, dudes that have had success, that have won playoff games. Joique, I love you, man, and I respect. I respect the small school stuff.
Who won playoff games?
I respect this.
Who won
small
playoff games?
School stuff.
Listen, I take the possibility of Fields playing over. God, that's. That.
You take the what?
I'll take Fields.
Hey, Art, do us a favor, man. Yeah. Clip this.
Yeah.
Clip this.
I got you.
Put it in the time capsule.
Mm-hmm.
And week 17, when the 10-7 limo,
you'll have one tear for Joique because he was wrong.
Pulled in.
Mm-hmm. So let it blow up in his face.
And remember, make sure you clip the part. Say if he's starting, he's in my top 5. Remember that.
Yeah.
Get that part in there too.
But does he have to start week 1?
Yes, he has to start. He has to go to the
and he has to perform for all 17 games in the top 5 moments.
Is that
it's a bold take. I like it.
It's a bold take.
Joique, I respect it. I do.
I
just think it's crazy.
All right.
It is crazy.
Time out. Joique didn't change the rules, but he's
taking some liberties.
Yeah, he's taking some liberties.
He's putting in qualifiers,
what he's saying,
Terry.
If he wins the starting job and plays well, he's in my top 5.
No, I didn't say if he plays. I didn't say if he plays well. I didn't say if he starts.
If he buys
he's in my
a new
top
Mercedes,
5. What I said.
If he buys a new Mercedes and the license plate says 10-7,
here's what we're gonna do to put this.
That's all I said. I said if he's starting week 1, he's top 5.
If he doesn't start, he's not in your top 5. If he starts, he's in your top 5.
Yeah, if he starts in my top 5.
Okay, here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna make a graphic. Everyone's top 5 from Neal, yours, and Terry's. Once it's in, it's in. If he starts, we're gonna put him in your top 5, though.
Yeah. So you got to wait till week 1.
I don't like that.
You
I
just
think
said.
you should have to decide right now.
Well,
your top five.
if he's a top
You don't even know if he's a starter.
Yeah,
But
say it.
if he's a top 5 guy, then he's a starter.
Say it,
Right.
Neal.
No, he's in. Like that. That's your dude.
Yep,
like
that's
he's
your guy.
in. If he's a top 5
Is
dude,
that
then
your
there's no
dude or not?
Then there's
Right.
no question he's
That's
a
my guy.
starter.
Okay,
So
that's your
top 5.
Top 5.
All right.
Now I don't want to hear nothing about. I don't want to hear nothing about. Yo, you was right. Well, no.
Say it one more time. Your top 5 is? Go ahead.
You said what?
Say your top 5
I already
one
said
last
it.
time.
I don't have to keep saying
One
it.
last time.
I'm not a broken record. I
Okay.
don't have to keep saying
Okay.
it. I heard it. The people heard it.
You don't sound
the
very
people's
confident
champ.
not saying it again.
He's the people's quarterback.
He's the people's starter.
He's the people's quarterback.
Trey Songz has a better chance of getting in the top 5.
Who?
Trey Songz. You said Trigger Trey Songz.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, Trigger
Keep-
Trey. Okay.
Neal and I are smoking you on hip hop knowledge
Yeah.
today.
Give me one Trey song.
Oh, there you go. There's every Trey Songz song. Oh.
No, that's not what.
Yeah, there
That's
you go.
what
Do it
it
again.
is. Huh?
Do it again.
No. Yeah. You heard?
That was spot on, man.
That was good.
That was spot on. I did want to talk a little bit more Detroit Lions before we cut to this break. Penei Sewell has taken every rep at the right tackle spot during training camp, which certainly
Penei took every snap.
Every snap, yeah.
At the one.
At
week
the one.
one,
Every
baby!
first team rep at right tackle during training camp. Aleem McNeil,
All right,
the
Penei.
3rd round nose tackle, he was listed as a starter as well on the depth chart. And look, I know a lot of people make big deals about depth charts, especially in the preseason. But Brad Holmes, Terry, based on what was advertised for him, this college scout savant, the early returns are pretty good. I mean, you got a 3rd round pick, a nose tackle on your starting depth chart rolling into the preseason of their rookie year. It looks like the tree could bear some fruit.
And I respect that from the standpoint. When we looked at the Lions in the previous years, it was what is their 1st round pick? And then we didn't talk too much about the 4th or 5th or 6th round
Not
picks.
too much, Terry.
Watch this.
Never,
this.
ever,
Okay,
ever
never.
did we.
You're right. Never.
Watch
now,
this.
Now we are.
All right.
Yeah.
Now, y'all calling me crazy for Trey Lance, right? Mm-hmm. Did I not say he was going to go before Justin Fields? Yes or no?
You did say that.
All right. Did I not say that Penei Sewell was going to be there when we were for the pick? Did I not say that?
Standing on top of the table, you did say that.
Huh?
Yeah.
And this was like weeks before it happened. And I told him earlier in the show like he's going to be available. There was talks about Cleveland taking Chase, right? And if that happened, we knew we were going to get Sewell. And so Sean didn't believe it. He didn't believe it.
No,
he didn't believe
Sean
it.
said that if he's available, they should
He may
run
need
and
to
not
run,
walk.
but he didn't think he was going to be there.
That is true. That is true. I take it back.
All right, and I said, listen, I text Sean, I said, Sean, he's going to be there at 7. We get there, that happens. I'm telling you, Trey Lance is going to be in my top 5.
Oh, he's going back and talking about it again. Jesus.
what happens.
All
I'm
right,
not
we
calling
get it.
you
Watch what
crazy
happens. Watch
about
what happens.
that.
I'm just sitting back. Watch what happens. I could be wrong. And if I'm wrong, I tell you I'm wrong. But we won't find out till week 17.
Yeah, well, and we'll come back and we'll talk more about this whole rookie depth chart thing because I think it is. I think we really have to discuss it. Neal Ruhl here for Coast. Since 1919, Coast has pursued one mission: to make the working professional's job safer and life easier. Today, Coast lights are a favorite among tradesmen and women, outdoor enthusiasts, DIYers, first responders, and more. Visit coastportland.com. Use code WSN20. That's WSN20. You'll get 20% off your purchase. They stand by their products. They back them up with a lifetime warranty. What more do you want, people? They stand behind the product. Buying for your whole crew? Sign up with the Coast Crew and take advantage of special discounts, early access to new products, and more. Again, that's 20% off. Just use the code WSN20.
You'd like to win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time?
Then watch as we turn this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
Watch the Call Sam Chopper Shop on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Welcome back, Woodward Sports Network, the Midday Show. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, Terry Foster in the house, Fish Kennedy, Art, everybody's here representing. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app. in the iTunes store. And get that on your phone. It'll be right there at your fingertips. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube as well. Keep up to date with everything going on Twitter as well. You know, Terry, you brought up James Jones earlier, and I thought I remembered it being this way. They took him in the 83 draft. You know, the quarterback, the draft that changed the whole complexion of the NFL, the Dan Marino and the John Elway and all that stuff. They got James Jones, and he got hurt in the preseason, man.
Right. And it was unnecessary.
And it was all unnecessary. Thanks for bringing that up.
James Jones told me way back there in 84, 85 that, he felt running backs were expendable, that they were like garbage, that they used them, you got injured, and they just kind of threw you in the scrap heap. He was very bitter, though. So with the 8 carries in 1 quarter, so you're coming from a bitter man. Maybe Mr. Bell has a different take on what the running back is, but he just thought that, they just treat us like garbage.
Yeah, but running back, obviously, position that you are familiar with.
Yeah, we do get treated like garbage. Right, we don't get paid enough. I think we have our life expectancy. The shortest. Yeah, right. It's like 2.6, 2.7 years. The average NFL career is 3.1. And running backs are under that. And so
you guys got to work hard for your touchdowns. A wide receiver's only got to beat one guy, and they get a touchdown. You guys got to get through people to score.
It's
Calvin,
stacked
against you guys.
Sometimes Calvin got to catch the ball over 3 or 4 guys. So I'm not going to say that, but if everything goes the way we draw it up on the board, we should only have to beat one guy. But it doesn't always happen that way. All right, so we are expendable. And that's why, you look on teams right now, you have multiple running backs, running back by committee now. It's not really that one guy, unless it's like a Derrick Henry. Then he's that guy.
Right.
But you don't have too many running backs or too many teams that have that kind of as their go-to or in their scheme. They have multiple running backs, kind of like with the Lions. We have Swift, we have Williams, and now we have Jefferson. And it's always kind of been that running back by committee with the Lions, at least since I played. Since that Berry era. I think at one point we had Kevin Jones, and then we brought in Kevin Smith after that, and then, Javed Best and
Reggie Bush.
And Reggie. But even with those
guys, I always like to point out, Joique, for the people that don't know, and I'm always going to bring it up every time we talk about this stuff. You and Reggie Bush, to this day, the only backfield in NFL history to both have 500 yards rushing, 500 yards receiving in the same season. Never been done.
Never been done.
But the committee works. I mean, that's why they do it, because it works. You guys were an example.
Because it's very hard to find a guy with the size of Derrick Henry that can be your power back and also have that second gear in the
They're
secondary.
Unicorns.
All right. It's not. They're far from it in between, and so it's tough to find those guys. So you have me as a power guy, and you have Reggie as a lightning. I was a thunder. I'm coming through. I'm gonna lower my shoulder, and I'm gonna go get that 2 or 3. And in the NFL, we call those bloody runs. Those are bloody runs. Go get your nose bloody. And so that was where I kind of came into play. And and Reggie comes in, and they give him his cute, get him out into the field. And for me to be a big guy, I was able to get out there into open field like with the screens and make guys miss as well. And those are kind of my favorite things to do because I only had like one guy to beat out there.
Yeah. Well, they ran Reggie wide because he could just step out of bounds if it wasn't there, right? Like you talked about like the designer guys, right?
Mm-hmm.
The speed guys, get them out wide.
But Reggie, at times if he has to go get it, he'll lower his shoulder, go get it. And so that's one thing I liked about him. He didn't shy away from contact.
He wasn't making business decisions all the time.
No, not all the time. Like in times where it just seems like, I'm not going anywhere, then step out, because as a running back, you have to know when to go down, because in NFL, defense are taught to, you hold them up, the other person come clean them up. And you got to know when to go down. Right?
It's a business decision.
It's a business. Now that's a business decision. But like going on that sideline, you see one guy standing in front of you, and you think I'm gonna run out of bounds just because you're standing there. You got to see me. No, you got to see me.
You got to feel it.
You got to feel it. You got to see me. Like there's no way I'm gonna look at you. You look at me. You think I'm gonna run out of bounds. No, you gotta feel the thunder. So that's just how I play. So. Gorilla.
But Terry, speaking of feeling the thunder, though, and we talked about it going into the break, this depth chart, the rookies, That is one thing that I am very excited about, and you and I talked about this last week. I'm a huge fan of the draft capital that's been acquired. You win now with rookie. You win financially as much as you do with talent now. I believe in professional sports, not just the NFL. But I like what I'm seeing as far as the depth chart goes. And now we're going into a couple of years where Holmes will have multiple first-round picks. Do you see it? Am I overvaluing this? I'm not saying 10-7 limo, but I'm getting a good feeling though, Terry. Am I crazy?
No, you're not crazy, and maybe I'm crazy too. We either both crazy or we got it, because I have faith in Brad Holmes. When I see him, I don't think he looks at the draft. I got to get it right in the first or second round, and that's it. I see a guy, I can get it right in the third round, the fourth round. I can find players wherever. So I have faith in him. That's why I think the future is going to be bright. Yeah. If I didn't have faith in him, I'd be like, I don't know. I think you're out nuts. But I think he's going to be able to pull this off.
Well, you look at, too, the playoff run that the Rams have had. They haven't had a first-round pick since, like, the Nixon administration, man.
Correct.
I mean, like, they never had first, because they were always trading them to acquire pieces. And, you look at the big-time trades that they pulled off. He sustained that run as not only a competitive team, but a perennial playoff team with no first-round picks. And he did that for 5 years, 4 years straight.
But
that's what's got me excited about him.
Think about what he can do in this situation. The Lions are trying to acquire draft picks. The Lions understand it is a young man's game. So my job as Brad Holmes is to get higher picks than I ever got with the Rams and find these young men who can play. I think that just puts him in a great situation, puts the Lions in a great situation. And one day there's going to be a 10-7 Lions limo. And
it might be next year.
It's not going to be a hoopty.
It's not going to be.
And guess what? That one day is coming sooner before.
Stop. You keep saying one day as if there's not a season coming up.
It's funny. Every time we talk about this and we ask them to give us the philosophy behind why they.
What's the
I gave you the wow and how and why yesterday.
I remember that, Fish. The catch the ball, make a spin move, and go score a touchdown. That was the philosophy.
I mean, that's not all of it, but the point is the quarterback just has to throw 10 yards.
Well, we gave you the whole mic.
Have to do is catch
we gave you the whole mic. We gave you the whole mic, and that's what you said.
Yeah. Well, you realize 10 yards is the first down.
Yeah.
So you just get 10 of those. That's a touchdown, which equals 6 points.
Every play's going to be 10 yards, huh?
It's a great philosophy, Fish.
Every play's going to be 10 yards.
No, you have 4 downs to get 10 yards.
But Joique.
But you said 10 plays.
Well, okay, but all Goff has to do is throw 10 yards. You don't have to throw it 70 yards every time.
Okay.
Fair. All right,
you have to understand, a lot of Lion fans don't know.
You're a Lion fan. Stop saying a lot of. You're a fan.
No, he's actually not a Lions fan.
He's not a Lions fan.
He's not a Lions
fan. They don't
fan.
know why things that happen. They're full of hope.
Miracles.
This is what I hope happens. I'm looking for a miracle.
It's not my hope. It's wishing.
It's not wishing. It's going to happen.
Oh, okay, because we live in a society where miracles don't happen.
I just told you why it's going to happen.
A goal without a plan is a wish.
Hold on, Fish, real quick. No. You had your time. All right, give us your why.
Okay.
What's your philosophy?
What's the plan?
What's the philosophy?
Who did we draft at number 7? Who did we draft?
Maybe the best player in the draft. Maybe.
Okay, so let me say you're correct, and also that will protect us, right? Because we need a thick Samoan. We need a man who's got that what Joique? That gorilla! Okay, then we got Jared Goff, who last time I checked beat Russell Wilson with a broken thumb. And he's one of our top 5 quarterbacks, okay? So, on top of that, we've got Swift. He's going to be fine. If Campbell's smart, he's going to keep him out for most of the preseason because that's what smart coaches do. You got a torn groin, you got a torn ball sack, whatever you got.
It's not torn. It's not torn.
It's going to be torn if he keeps playing in the preseason, okay? On top of that, we got Jamal Williams, who's one of the most electric, exciting rookies I've ever witnessed in my entire life. Jamal Williams?
He's not a rookie.
Yeah, he's not.
Oh, no, he came from Green Bay, which he's a rookie because I don't think Green Bay even fucking exists in my brain. So, yes, he's a rookie, okay?
Well, we established it very much exists in Joique's
Green
brain.
Bay hasn't done much of the last
few years. And hang on. We also have the highest paid center in the NFL, right? Why would we pay him? Because he's the best! We got our protection done. We got DeAndre Swift. We've got Jamal Williams. We've got these people that are ready to go. And we got doubters, including a former Detroit Lion. saying that we're not going 10-7. That's embarrassing.
Well, Art, by definition, though, that unit you're talking about is only on the field for about 48% of the game.
And we only need 48% because the 52% of the time, we got other players that need to show off. We need 48% to get those touchdowns. We're going to rack up so many touchdowns with that 48%. Let the other 52% give them to the rookies, give them to the newbies.
You know what's funny? Through him naming everything he just named, he named a quarterback, he named the O-line, and he named the running back. He did not name one receiver.
Right.
Not one.
Any
and
defensive
don't
player
say nothing, Art.
at all.
Don't say nothing, Art. You didn't name not one receiver.
Because
no.
So you won't let me talk.
No. I gave you an opportunity to talk. All right, so raise your hand now, because I didn't say anything until you finished. So don't you cut me off. Don't you cut. You shut your mouth and you sit back and you listen.
Are you finished or are you done?
No, neither. He did not name one receiver. He did not name one tight end, even though T.J. Hockenson is probably is going to be our best receiver. All right. Tell me a game where we're going to run the entire game.
Am I allowed to talk now?
No.
Okay, thank you.
No, because you had your opportunity to talk, and I let you get out your philosophy.
I didn't know that. He did not name one.
He did not name one defensive player.
Say that?
Hold up. He did not name one defensive player. He did not name any philosophies on defense. He didn't even bring. You don't got to bring up special teams. Like I'm not gonna fault you for that.
Jack Fox.
We're not gonna hold you back. You didn't. And Fish, you be quiet because you didn't bring it up yesterday when you had your opportunity either.
That is true.
We gave you opportunity, so you didn't bring it up either.
Sorry, Fish.
All right. Art didn't bring it up.
I brought you into this jungle.
Art didn't bring it up. Nobody brought it up. So we're just gonna tell me one time the last time offense won a championship by itself for the whole season.
No, that's why I brought up everything but the offense.
You brought up.
Well,
just
that's why I brought up who protects Jared Goff.
What are you talking about, Art? You only brought up the offense.
I didn't know I had to bring up Hot because he was phenomenal.
Listen, Kennedy, man, talk to your guy. Is it no oxygen? Open up the door. Y'all need some oxygen.
No, we're not allowed to. Chad rules.
Neal, talk to him. I can't do it.
You do realize the offense has to score.
We gotta go on break. We gotta go to break.
Let's take a break. Let's take a break and recalibrate.
Because right now, because you take me up another level here, and I gotta bring myself back down. Speaking of levels, grand opening. Who is Level? Level is a provisioning center that's about to open. They're having a car giveaway. Go get this Challenger. Live broadcast. Who will be there? I'll be there. This show will be here. The Morning Wood will be there. Everybody that's a part of this network will be there. When? Friday, August 20th. We'll be on site to help promote the grand opening and the delivery service. Go to enjoylevels.com for more information. Hey, there'll be free food trucks, tons of giveaways, and your chance to win a new Challenger. Like I said, the Morning Wood, the midday show, but by that time, it'll be the Big D Energy sports talk show. And the bottom line is, we'll be there the whole time to broadcast it live. So pull up on me. The address is 23968 Sherwood Avenue. Center line.
Pull up on me.
Pull up on me. Say to him with sports.
Hi, I'm David Hall from All Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Welcome back. Midday show here, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Joique Bell, T-Foss, Terry Foster in the house as well. You know, I'm gonna pull up on it. I'm gonna pull up into the T Grizzly event with no effort.
No effort. No effort.
Neal's killing it.
Look
with
at that, man.
the T Grizzly references.
Yeah,
I had just brought
my
up,
guy.
I had just brought up too. I said Grizzlies.
He's pulling up on his first day out.
Yeah. And Grizzly Gas is T Grizzly's cannabis company, and I said, Joique, we got to do some samples while we're out there because they're giving out samples, and maybe Neal can partake. I don't know.
Yeah, on air. We can.
I don't have a card, so
you don't need a card. It's recreational. I'll give you my card.
It's recreational. We don't need a card now. We don't need a card.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how that shakes out. We'll see how that shakes out. We'll do it with no effort, no doubt about it.
Sounds like Neal is scared.
Yeah,
I don't have my card.
I don't know what the law is. You know,
I'm telling you, no, you good. No, it's recreational.
It's recreational.
Straight.
Yeah. So the thing is,
the NC2A is cool with it.
Is the NCAA cool with it now?
We'll find out.
I know
I
the
work
NFL.
for an NC2A institution, man. Like,
Yo, could you imagine Neal just shout out to the NCAA?
I know you prayed on my downfall.
I know you prayed on my downfall.
For sure.
Neal, Ruhl, Joique, Terry Foster with you. Happy to have you with us. Make sure you download the Woodward Sports app in the App Store, the Google Play Store as well, if that's your flavor. Subscribe on YouTube, follow on Twitter. You know the business. You know the business to do it. But we're wrapping up that Detroit Lions discussion, and I did want to touch on this real quick because I'm a food guy. I'm not the food guy I used to be, but I am a big food guy. I don't know if you guys saw this. Guy Fieri has a take on the Chevrolet slogan, and you guys know that, as American as apple pie, hot dogs and American as apple pie. He's created an apple pie hot dog. So Terry, I got to ask you, because we talked about the 7-Up cake before. What is there anything that you put together or anything that you eat that most people don't?
Well, definitely not apple pie hot dog.
My wife, I showed my wife that yesterday. She was pretty disgusted by
Hot dog pie.
Yeah, not going to do that. I guess the most adventurous thing I do is for my daughter. She likes peppers and sausage, and then I kind of grill them up a little bit in the wok, and then put some sweet and sour sauce in it. That's as adventurous as I get. Now, back in the day, Grandma and all them used to, they used to make stuff I wouldn't eat.
They used to set
for
it
instance,
off.
Hog mogs, pig's feet, chitlins. I didn't touch that stuff, but they loved it.
You know what they say? I went to my coach's house, and in his kitchen, his wife had this thing up. If you don't eat what I'm cooking, then you ain't hungry. And so I ate everything growing up. I did. Until I grew up and I knew what it was. So I used to eat chitlins. I used to love chitlins growing up. I used to love it. My dad would clean them. And actually, my dad, when it came to cooking chitlins, my dad cooked them the best. He'll clean them. He'll add all his spices and bay leaves and all that in there, and he'll cook it for a long time. And they just melt. It was perfect.
Yeah, they made me clean the chitlins. Me and my grandmother. Yeah,
that's probably why you didn't eat it. If I had to clean them, I probably wouldn't eat them either. I didn't know they had to do all that.
Did you pig feet?
No, I didn't. I never did pig feet. I never did it.
Yeah, my cousin used to call them trotters.
No, I never did.
Pig's feet.
Now, one thing I do now, one thing I did when I was growing up is that when I would cook my ramen noodles, I would make it to a 5-course meal. I'll cook eggs, put eggs in it. I'll put different spices in there.
Damn.
Like hot sauce. Add a couple more different spices in there, and I would have that. And if I wanted some, I would never put meat in there. But I know some people who might cook shrimp and put shrimp in there too. But we couldn't afford shrimp. I saw it'd be eggs in that, and then put just enough juice to where it's not watery, but just enough to where I can grab some bread, and I'll put the noodles in the bread and dip it in there. I eat it like that. Fill me up. So I did that when I was younger.
I make something that most people don't eat only because they haven't discovered it. Paella. Paella is a Spanish dish with yellow rice, and I put fish in there.
That's Greg Campy's favorite thing to eat in the world.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay.
He loves her.
I have to make it for him sometime.
Yeah.
The best pot I ever had was in New York City. They had brought up this big black pot, yellow rice, and it had lobster, shrimp, chicken, sausage.
So like a gumbo sort of kind of?
It's
like a rice. It's more of a soup, like a rice soup kind of type thing.
It's rice full of goodies.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't call it like a gumbo type thing per se.
And it's from Spain.
Right, and then they do it over there. Now, on the flip side of that coin, is there anything that people do that you guys can't stand? Because I have one. The savages that put ketchup on eggs. What? Those people are savages to me.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
No, man, no.
Have you tried it? Have you tried it?
It's nasty.
I said the same. I said the same thing. Why would they do that? Why would they do that? And then
ketchup has no place at a breakfast table.
Hold on, your hash browns? What?
Mac and cheese.
What about hash browns?
Unacceptable.
Hash browns?
No.
Yes.
No. It's breakfast.
What's the difference between hash browns and French fries? What's the difference? They're both potatoes.
Yeah, but there's a massive difference in how you make it.
No ketchup in the morning. If there's an AM after, unless
what's the difference how you make it?
Unless you haven't been to bed yet.
Hang on. What are you, 90 with acid reflux issues?
No. Now if it's 2:30, and there's some extenuating circumstances,
Yeah.
then all right. Then I'll ride
All
with
right,
you
this
on
is
that.
going to break our friendship, our new friendship.
I'll ride with
Do
you.
you put A1 sauce on steak?
No.
No.
Okay.
Only
all right.
if the steak is bad.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
If somebody screwed up the steak, then you put A1 on
Terry,
it.
if I roll over to your house and you're like, hey, we're having steak tonight, and I ask you for the A1.
Is it Worcestershire or Worcestershire?
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Or no, it is
Some people call it
Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Oh, it's Worcestershire.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
But I will say that, though, Art, if you have me over at your residence.
Potatoes,
Listen,
tomato.
I'd love to have you at my residence, but we have no AC. It's 86 in the trailer. You'd be miserable.
But I'm saying, though, if you make
man.
steak
Too hot.
and I ask you for the A1 sauce, that tells you all you need to know about
Well,
your
yeah.
cook,
Like,
your steak
you know,
cooking
if you
skills.
ask for A1 sauce at like a steakhouse, they find that disrespectful.
Well, unless you're at Outback, they got gallons of it. But Outback doesn't really have like real steaks. The only thing they got that's good there is the bloomin' onion.
Oh.
Outback
has that
steaks
bloomin'
are
onion.
not high quality like
No.
other steakhouses.
Yeah.
No,
Go to
because they
Prime
ship them from
Proper,
Australia.
Go to Hyde Park right here
Oh, no,
around the
yeah,
corner.
that's
You
no
go to
comparison.
these different steakhouses. You go to London Chop House. You go to the different spots. You cannot ask
Joey,
for.
you're talking outside of most of our tax brackets,
No, I'm not.
okay? So just
Terry Foster, have you never been to Hyde Park or
Terry's
Prime
making
Proper or London
millions.
Chop House?
I've been to Prime and Proper.
Neal, have you been to either of the three?
Which, Prime and Proper and what else?
Prime and Proper, London Chop House.
London Chop House, yes.
And Hyde Park right around the corner.
No, I haven't. I'm not.
Yeah, so
I haven't been a
everybody-
big Birmingham guy in my day. I'm going to change that though.
Yeah, but how much? Let me ask you, Joique. How much is it for like if I was to take the wife or the warden to London Chop Houses? Well, how much is it?
It depends on what you get. Sometimes you can go get a steak.
I want a nice steak. A nice steak.
So, for instance, if I go to Prime and Proper, if the steak is, you can get a 24 ounce or you get a 48 ounce. A 24 ounce there can feed two. So I never eat like a whole 24 ounce.
Yeah, I don't have that in my.
But that
in
steak
my
is
arsenal anymore.
$85.
85. Jesus.
Isn't it $85?
He doesn't even look at the bill.
Yeah.
75, 85.
It's like 75, but that's for two people.
Joique is just like, hey, put it on the crypto wallet. Just put it on this. I'll worry about it later.
You know what though? But that's not something you do all the time. Like,
well, no,
you can do it. You can take your wife there on the anniversary. Come on, wait, what?
Wait, what? Exactly.
You can't save $1 a day to take your wife on a nice dinner. $1 a
he'll
day.
take her to Fridays.
That's over $300.
Yeah, with the way she's been acting, McDonald's. That's what you're getting.
Well, that's cool. That's why she acting that way.
Yeah.
Well, understand this. Your wife or your girl is only going to give you what you give them. And so if you give them bull, they're going to multiply it. They're going to give you bull.
It's all about. Let's
take a break. It's time for a break. When we come back, let's talk a little bit more. I don't even know what we're talking about. I just don't want to hear Art's voice. Let's talk about Messi.
I can't wait for tomorrow.
No, I do want to talk about this because I don't think Americans can relate to that.
Yeah, we can't relate to that, and I think it's terrible what how that kind of how he's departing.
Yeah. We'll discuss it. We'll
discuss when we come back. But stay tuned with Sports.
Tony is a third-generation logger that has a simple, practical approach to life and work. That's why his Coast DX342 knife is perfect for him. The stainless steel blade is rust-resistant and made for all-weather use. And the double roll-lock safety ensures that it will never inadvertently close when he doesn't want it to. That's why Coast is trusted tough.
Welcome back to the Midday Show here. Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, Joique Bell here with you. I'm cool with everybody as long as you're not putting ketchup on your eggs. I think we got that established.
I definitely put ketchup on my eggs sometimes.
You're a savage, Joique.
How about a nice hollandaise sauce?
You said what?
Hollandaise sauce on your eggs.
If they're poached.
Yeah,
If
that's
they're
what I had.
poached.
That's what I had the other day. It was delicious.
Yeah. If they're poached, yeah. All right, I'll ride with you on that. But it's weird though because I am team hot sauce.
You hear?
Yeah. What about a nice holiday sauce? Okay,
Man,
T-Fost.
Hey man, I'm highbrow.
Well, yeah. I mean, Terry will probably tell you about the travesty one time when he was flying first class to London when they didn't have holiday sauce for his poached eggs.
They didn't have the
I
holiday sauce?
made that story up, but I'm sure it happened.
No, that probably did happen.
No, 1,000,000%.
Tell us that time that happened.
No, I got pissed really on first class. No more swordfish. I had to get something else. I had to get the chicken.
Travesty.
Man.
What type of operation? What
I
airline was this?
No.
'Cause we will never go there again.
No, I was really indignant. I said, I want my swordfish. He said, no, sir, it's swordfish. Oh, yeah, you know what I meant.
I was indignant. I like it. No, but this is a situation, and look, Lionel Messi was kind of forced to leave Barcelona, signed with Paris Saint-Germain. For some reason, Paris Saint-Germain has all this money despite all these FIFA fair play rules where they're trying to spread out the way money is spent so there's not these dominant teams. But essentially, to break it down in kind of a common man's terms, I guess, so Barcelona had a situation where to give Messi his money, to give him his new contract, it was going to violate some type of salary rules that La Liga has. So it got to the point where Barcelona has to let Messi go. And we all know about salary caps here in America and the way American sports works.
He was willing to take a pay cut.
He was willing. He didn't want to leave.
He said he was willing to take a 50% pay cut.
He actually did take a pay cut.
Yeah.
And they still couldn't sign him.
Which, Fish, it's something where it's one of those crazy European sports rules that would never fly here in America. Could you imagine Michael Jordan? Could you imagine the NBA going to the Chicago Bulls and Terry saying, hey, you guys have spent too much money. You can't keep Michael Jordan. Could you imagine this happening in America? There's no way that America will ever see that. I don't care, because you know this, Terry, even with the salary caps and everything like that, there's all kinds of little outs for teams. The Yankees can go over the cap and then pay a penalty. You can pay luxury taxes. What that means is you can do what you got to do to keep your cash cow. And there is no bigger cash cow in the world than Messi. Yeah, Fish.
Was it David Stern that stopped someone from going to the Lakers a while back?
I think that was that Chris Paul?
I think it was Chris Paul. He stopped the trade from happening.
Right, but they didn't. They were still able to keep Magic Johnson. You know what I'm saying? Like, they were still able to keep Kareem. That's never going to happen. Terry, you'll never see this in American sports.
No, absolutely. It's why soccer, and I know people love it, but soccer just has dumb rules. Soccer doesn't. For instance, the extra time. I'm watching a soccer match. I don't know when it's going to end. Well, we got 5 extra minutes, and we're going up and up and up. Have a countdown. Go from 45 minutes to 1 second to 0. Stop the clock when they're not playing instead of keeping it going. Soccer just doesn't make sense in a lot of regards, and this is one of them. Messi, can we say the greatest soccer player ever, or at least top 3, top 4?
Yeah, one of the greatest of all time.
One of the greatest of all time. Wants to stay with the team, willing to, finagle his contract to stay with the team. The team wants him, but he still got to go. That's why soccer doesn't make sense.
Terry, look, I'm a soccer guy. Obviously, call soccer for a living. I have no defense for that. I was stunned. I heard the reports when they came out and everything like that, and I thought that's cute. La Liga's making they're standing in the line in the sand a little bit. There's no way when push comes to shove that La Liga's going to damage their own product, because that's what they did. And this just happened too. ESPN has the La Liga rights now in America, and that torpedoes the value of that. I mean, La Liga, Barcelona and Real Madrid, I mean, these historically great teams, the greatest teams in the world, I'll admit, I won't watch it. I won't. I mean, who are you going to watch now? Where's the star appeal? Cristiano Ronaldo left Real Madrid. Messi's gone now. I mean, this is just such a bad business decision by La Liga. Like, where's the business sense? Where's the business sense in all this?
There is no business sense.
That's stupid. Like, what are we doing here, Terry?
Once again, soccer has archaic and dumb rules that people in Europe just, swear by. But that stuff just doesn't fly in America. We want our best. You're willing to pay them. You with the squad.
Yeah, we're at the
Yankees.
Yankees.
If nothing else, if you're over the cap, you don't get rid of Michael Jordan. You get rid of the 6th man or the 7th man or something like that.
I'm pretty sure if he was willing to take a 50% pay cut, there's other players on the team that they could let go to help manage the rest.
Or you go to the players and say, this is our only chance to win.
And everyone takes a pay cut.
Yeah, and everybody's got to get on board.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't. But again, why is La Liga stepping in and doing it? I'll never understand it. And look, I know it's there's a segmented audience for this discussion, but I'm trying to make it make sense. Again, just going back to it, your guy Aaron Rodgers. Can you imagine if the NFL went and said, "Hey, you got to let Aaron Rodgers go, man. You spent too much money."
They just try to pay him that much money.
that quarterback money money hits different.
It does. Like I told you, I played the wrong position.
Yeah, absolutely.
The wrong position.
But you're never going to see this in American sports. You're never going to see these types of things happen. I'm stunned that La Liga would do it. And Fish, like you're soccer elite, man. ESPN just paid a whole bunch of money for something that's devalued.
And they got the rights early too.
I know. And it blew up in their face, and they're not in a position where they can be, wasting money.
What they did is, in order to get that position, they got rid of all of their journalists and all of their people, and
Right.
they're like, "Hey, ESPN Plus, download it. Oh, we're gonna screw everybody who made this network possible, but we've got soccer." Like, I don't get that.
If this is America, ESPN can roll in and say, this is not happening.
Right.
We just paid for this, so Messi's on this team. That's the end of the discussion.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it is. Got some reaction to some of the stuff we've been talking about. Taylor sends us on social media, says it's year 7 of Jim Harbaugh. 7 with the exclamation point. So, I mean, there are people out there that have had enough. There's no question about it. Jenna Newman says on social media, on the Facebook page, I have milk on my cereal, that's it. Sometimes I get crazy and add fruit.
Yeah, now, when we talk about Jim Harbaugh, we had Devin Gardner on here, and he kind of talked about some of the things that the team lacked. And one thing that they were lacking on was on the defensive side with the coordinator, and that the school wasn't supporting.
See, that's
wasn't supporting. When I say supporting, I'm not talking about not supporting, not giving like Jim Harbaugh to go out to recruit players, but spending money on coaches.
They got $1 million coordinators there, man. I'm shooting that down right quick, Joique.
That might be what you're saying, but if you look at what they're getting paid, look at some of the top schools that we're going to get into later on.
Yeah.
They're not getting the same as the other coordinators as at these bigger schools.
They got $1 million coordinators, Joique. I don't want to hear that shit.
But they also have coordinators that's been there that hasn't been doing anything that they can't get rid of because they can't find anyone better. Well, I'm just saying.
Well, who's that on?
Is that on the coach or is that on?
In college, it is. He's the CEO.
But he's the CEO. But he doesn't control how much the coaches get paid. That has to come from the top.
Terry, if Jim Harbaugh walks into the office, Ward Manuel or whoever, if he walks in that office and says, "I need 1.4 for a coordinator, it's going to set us free," they going to cut that check?
Cutting that check.
1,000,000% they're cutting it. I don't want to hear it. That pisses me off.
They just cut his pay. What are we saying? Now, you know what? His contract now is almost similar to before, but they brought his pay down. Now he has to earn the right to get out his full amount, which I agree with. Like, you earn your keep. Like, if you win, when you hit these milestones, you'll get a pay increase. And so what we call it when I played.
Incentive-based?
Incentives, right. And so you have these incentives that he has to hit in order to get that full amount. Because I think, what were they paying him, $7-10 million a year? And now they dropped it down to what?
The base is cut in half.
Yeah, basically cut in half, but you can get to that number if you win these games.
Right.
And I'll give him more incentive.
Why did they cut it? Because he wasn't cutting the mustard. He didn't do a good enough job. If Jim Harbaugh was performing at a Michigan elite level, guess what? He'd be making $7-8 million this year.
Yeah, absolutely he would. And when we come back, I want to talk about Jim's contemporaries, the college football rankings, the preseason coaching poll. I want to get into all that because I think Harbaugh ties into all this, and we'll discuss when we come back. It's a midday show right here on Woodward Sports Network.
Welcome to the Call Sam Chopper Shop, where you can win a custom-built chopper while helping our veterans at the same time.
Watch as the Bad Pig Custom team turns this bike into a one-of-a-kind classic chopper.
And when it's finished, we'll be donating the bike to Volunteers of America Michigan to raffle off in support of our vets.
A great cause to give back to those who've given so much.
Watch for Call Sam Chopper Shop episodes on our social media channels and get your raffle ticket today at callsam.com/chopper shop.
Hi, I'm David Hall from Hall Financial. With historically low interest rates and 5-star service, you could pay your mortgage off faster without increasing your monthly payment. Get started now at 248-308-5000 or chat with us online. Call hallfirst.com.
Back at it here on the Midday Show. Neal Ruhl, Terry Foster, Joique Bell in the building as well. Happy to have you with us. If you're watching on the app, YouTube, following along on Twitter, however you're doing it, we're certainly grateful that you are. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, the debut. Big D Energy. Myself, Joique Bell, and Darren McCarty. Excited to get that rolling. And we'll be with you tomorrow and every day from 11 to 1 going forward. But the preseason coaches poll is out. The usual suspects are up at the top. Alabama, number 1. I mean, it doesn't. The numbers go back and forth. You know who it is. It's Bama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Ohio State, and Georgia, because it's always Bama, Clemson, Oklahoma, Ohio State, and Georgia. And Terry, I'm tired of hearing about the fans around here that say, well, that's just because of, ESPN has the SEC and it's an SEC bias. The bottom line is, when these teams play each other, these are the teams that win. That's it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they don't just beat Big Ten teams. I'm talking about Alabama and Clemson. They destroy them.
They beat them to sleep.
What is the debate? Where's the controversy? Maybe the controversy is, why do they keep getting all these studs to play for them? I know when Alabama steps on the field with Michigan or Michigan State, they're going to kick their ass. There's not even a debate.
The guys don't want to play in the cold. They want to come out here for the cold.
That's a tired take too, Joique. They would beat them in the cold. They would beat them in a boat. They would beat them in a moat.
Or bring them up here.
They
in the cold. Bring them up here in the cold.
No, but
I'm telling you what I played in. I'm telling you what I've experienced, and I'm telling you how. When I went to the Senior Bowl, it was in Alabama, but it was a cold game. And we smacked the South, and usually the South wins the games at the Senior Bowl. But it was so they don't like playing in the cold. The hits hurt a little bit more. When you hit somebody, it hurts a little bit more. Your hands are cold. The ball feels like the receiver. The ball feels like, when the laces hit your hand, it feels like a knife cutting through your skin, like in that.
Joique.
I'm telling you,
the North teams don't want to play in the South either. Okay, then cool.
No.
Jim Harbaugh, go play Alabama, do a 2-for-1. Make that business decision. Say, all right, we'll go down there twice. You come up here once, because I guarantee you, Alabama would take that, but Michigan wouldn't. That's the other thing too. Like the people that say
Alabama's going to make them play in Dallas or something like that.
Yeah, 1,000,000%, because they're going to maximize. They're going to maximize that income because they're a machine. They're a business. Like when I'm tired of hearing about the complaining, because it's proven. Time after time after time after it's proven. The proof's in the pudding, man.
Hey, these games, how many bowl games you have up here?
Well, it's got to be a destination, man. You know that. I mean, you got to send them down to Miami and New Orleans and LA,
all these warm places. All these warm places.
You've got the Yankee Pinstripe Bowl.
Yeah. But who wants to go to Yankee Stadium in December or January?
Nobody,
right. So you have them in warm places because
you got to sell tickets.
The idea is to sell tickets. The idea is to reward your fans.
It's funny. Green Bay sells out every year. They sell out every game. They sell out every game.
But where are those people from? Green Bay.
Huh?
They're from Green Bay. But the bowls, you're not going to get. For instance, we have a bowl here in Detroit. Guess who doesn't go? Detroiters, and it's indoors. I mean, when they're like, they get 20,000.
And Terry, you know the reason for that. We're in a social media big event society. We're not cool if we're on the gram at the Quick Lane Bowl. Look, with all due respect, I do actually go to the Quick Lane Bowl. When I'm in town, if we're not traveling for basketball, I do go because I enjoy college football. I do. I'm a nerd when it comes to college football. But with all that being said, it's not cool if you're on the gram at the Quick Lane Bowl at Ford Field. It is cool if you're at Hard Rock Stadium and it's January 4th, and you're playing Alabama. That's cool. Like, that's to be seen. Like, we're a big event society now, so we're not going to go. People don't go to regular season games anymore. people don't even go to first-round playoff games. Like, there's got to be juice, man. There's got to be something tied to it.
Yeah. People don't go to first-round playoff games anymore?
Not in the NBA and the NHL. I mean, we would here now because we haven't had it for so long. Like, we would now. But, I mean, do you think – are Atlanta Braves fans going to the first-round playoff games?
No, they don't sell out the World Series sometimes in Atlanta.
Right, yeah.
And you know what's empty also? The first round of the NCAA tournament. There's no one there. And we talk about how great the tournament is, one of the greatest sporting events that we look forward to. When you go to the first and second round, it's crickets.
Yeah, but that depends on who's playing and
no,
where.
No, it doesn't. They don't go.
Well, and that's why they recently manipulated that, Terry. And we saw this here when magically when the first round were being played at the Palace, because we actually at Oakland we operated it. Like, we had to handle all the credential requests and all that type of stuff and the setup for the Palace. But then magically, Michigan was there.
Right.
And magically, Michigan State were there. Even though they were on different sides of the bracket, magically their pod landed at the Palace of Auburn Hills.
Yeah, they can manipulate the whole pod thing.
And that's
but
why
why don't you do what women's basketball does? They have a host school, so they know they're going to get a lot of people because Ohio State fans are going to see Ohio State play women's basketball. Maybe they should have the top seeds host first and second round games so people would actually be there.
And those are business decisions that the NCAA is making. And Joique, that's what plays into the football stuff too. The location, everything's a business decision, man.
You think so?
I know so. Like,
No.
yeah, I mean, look at the track record. What do you got, Fish?
They have host cities for the March Madness tournament. The hosts just a lot of times aren't there. They're like Dayton, which never really makes the tournament, or Abilene Christian, which never makes the tournament. So they have hosts. They're just never in the tournament.
Christian. I like Abilene Christian. That's good program down there.
No,
D2, right?
But they do that
For
like the
football?
host. But Fish, how it works is the host schools host it. Like, we hosted at the Palace. Like,
Yeah.
that was Oakland and the Horizon League.
They had it a few years ago. Wasn't it at LCA?
LCA was Detroit and Oakland at the Horizon League. Like, and that's a way to gain revenue. That's all a revenue-based thing, like everything else. Like, I just don't. I've been trying to explain this. Everything is business-based. That's why I'm happy the players, have the name, image, and
everything is
likeness now,
business.
because it's all business-related.
Right. That's why all these schools are. That's why we have Texas and Oklahoma trying to get into the SEC, because that's where the money is. They're trying to get over there.
No doubt, no doubt, and that's what keeps the Big Ten relevant to some degree, and that's why Maryland's in the conference. That's why Rutgers in the conference. It had nothing to do with Maryland or Rutgers. It had everything to do with how the Big Ten network works. And how it works is, I forget what the number is, they get $3 or $2 or $1 for every cable subscriber. So if you subscribe to cable and you're in Washington, D.C., if you go through the fine print, somewhere you're charged $1.17 a month for having the Big Ten network. And that's the Big Ten network's money. So they bring in Maryland to put it in Washington, D.C., massive cable subscribers in that area, Rutgers with New York, New Jersey. Now all of a sudden you're talking, if there's 10 million cable subscribers, that's a $10 million kicker to the Big Ten. And that's where they did a good job, where the Big Ten handled their business and did things well. It's just the teams that they brought in didn't do anything to add to the profile of the conference. Actually, if anything, hurt the conference.
Yeah. You know what? But they have certain years, say schools like Maryland. It's a roller coaster with these programs. They'll have a year when they do really good.
Yeah, they pop off every now and then.
Yeah, every now and again. But these are the schools that are the wins that you said. You got 5 wins in the Big Ten. Usually, more often than not, those are going to be wins for Michigan.
But Greg Schiano's back on the scene now. Rutgers will be a problem. Rutgers going to be a problem.
There'll be a problem, but they'll never be great.
No, they're never going to win the Big Ten, quote unquote. But if you go there and play them on a Saturday night, you're going to have some issues, man. Schiano's proven that, and they were way better last year than everybody thought they were going to be. They had Michigan beat until they didn't.
Yep.
So they're going to be a problem, man. But that's, I guess, and I know people are getting tired of the same teams over and over again. But they run their business the best. They have the best coaches. They have the best coordinators. That's why they're there all the time.
And they have the best players.
And why do they have the best players? Because they have the best recruiters.
Yeah, and it's warm.
And it's warm.
And they got the best back.
Say it.
No, they got the best back man, too.
Whatever. I mean, that happens.
You know what, Joique? You always got to get that last little jab in, even if no one knows. I know, and it's warm there. Okay, Joique, you win. God.
Well, that goes to tell you, though, Joique. Where would you rather play?
Yeah, I'd rather go somewhere where it's warm. So will Art, so he doesn't. Not so pale.
He can go back to his house. It's warm there.
Listen,
It's
I'd
warm
rather
there,
be in the
but you still don't be
87-degree trailer than have to do Big D Energy with D-Mac. Neal, you're going to be a godsend. Please tell me it's not going to be the Bully Art Show. Please, God, no.
I'm not about that.
Neal has got to wear a striped shirt between D-Mac and Joique.
Yeah.
Why? I mean, D-Mac going to get along. It's going to be between D-Mac and Art.
I don't even know if I'm on the show.
I'm not hard on Art. I'm not hard.
Bullshit. Stop it.
I'm not hard
You
on
just
Art.
screamed at me because I didn't have the camera on you because Chad was on my ass and Adam's on my ass. But yeah, let me make sure your camera's okay.
And the reason they on your butt is because you're not paying attention
It's
to the
because
talent
I'm
on the
destined
show.
for greatness. That's why.
No, you're destined for something. I don't know exactly.
You're only on your ass when you're not doing your job.
That is true.
Neal, you should wear a referee shirt.
No.
Because both sports have the same referee shirt color, hockey and football.
Hey, take the camera off of Fish. Take it off right now.
Why don't you want to wear a referee
in
shirt?
for Woodward Sports. Tomorrow
It's
we'll
in the
be starting
middle.
with the first day of Big D Energy. Neal Ruhl,
It's a great idea.
Joique Bell, and you have Darren McCarty starting tomorrow, 11 to 1. Make sure you tap in. Gang, gang.